जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य सिवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। मथुरा द्वारिका पुरी धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की। गंगा मैया की, यमुना मैया की, भक्ति देवी की, श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र मैया की। श्री श्री गौर निताय की। ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 4th. Vidura approaches Maitreya. Text 31. Sorry. Please repeat. न उद्धवो अण्वपि मन्यो नोद्धवो अण्वपि मन्युनो यद्गुणैर्नार्दितः प्रभुः अतो मद्वयुनं लोकम् ग्राहयन् इह तिष्ठतु। न उद्धवाण्वपि मन्युनो यद्गुणैर्नार्दितः प्रभुः अतो मद्वयुनं लोकम् ग्राहयन् इह तिष्ठतु। न उद्धवाण्वपि मन्युनो यद्गुणैर्नार्दितः प्रभुः अतो मद्वयुनं लोकम् ग्राहयन् इह तिष्ठतु। Somebody would like to repeat? Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Word to word meaning, na, not. Uddhavaha, Uddhav. Anu, slightly. Api, also. Mat, to myself. Nyunaha, inferior. Yat, because. Gunahi, by the modes of material nature. Na, not. Arditaha, affected. Prabhu, master. Ataha, therefore. Matvayunam, knowledge of me, the personality of Godhead. Lokam, the world. Grahayan, just to disseminate. Iha, in this world. Ishtatu, may remain. Translation. Uddhav is not inferior to me in any way because he is never affected by the modes of material nature. Therefore, he may remain in this world in order to disseminate specific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. Purport. The specific qualification for becoming the representative of the Lord is to be unaffected by the material modes of nature. The highest qualification of a person in the material world is to be a Brahman. But since a Brahman is in the mode of goodness, to be a Brahman is not sufficient for becoming a representative of the Lord. One has to transcend the mode of goodness also and be situated in unalloyed goodness, unaffected by any of the qualities of material nature. This stage of transcendental qualification is called Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva. And in this stage, the science of God can be realized. As the Lord is not affected by the modes of material nature, so a pure devotee of the Lord is also not affected by the modes of nature. That is the primary qualification for being one with the Lord. A person who is able to attain this transcendental qualification is called Jivan Mukta or liberated, even though he is apparently in material conditions. This liberation is achieved by one who constantly engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is stated, Ihayasya Harirdase Karmana Manasa Gira Nikhilashopi Avasthasu Jivan Muktaha Sa Uchyate. Anyone who, by his actions, mind, and words, lives only for the transcendental loving service of the Lord is certainly a liberated soul, even though he may appear to be in a condition of material existence. Uddhav was in such a transcendental position, and thus he was selected to be the factual representative of the Lord in his bodily absence from the vision of the world. Such a devotee of the Lord is never affected by material strength, intelligence, or even renunciation. Such a devotee of the Lord can withstand all onslaughts of material nature and therefore is known as Goswami. Only such Goswamis can penetrate the mysteries of the Lord's transcendental loving relationships. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class where we are continuing on this section wherein Lord Krishna is thinking before he departed from this world that I should entrust this knowledge to Uddhav and he should remain behind with this knowledge to disseminate this knowledge to all others who don't have access to it. So Lord has not done this only with Uddhav. He does it with some others also, whom he finds to be very qualified with the knowledge. For that matter, we find in the case of Hanumanji also, Lord Ramchandra took all his devotees back to Saket Dham, Ayodhya in the Vaikuntha world, after his pastimes in this material world. But he told Hanumanji, you stay back committee. Only one person to disseminate this knowledge to help devotees. In fact, it is said wherever Ram Katha goes on, Hanumanji is there. As such, is in Kim Purusha Varsha, the 9 verses in the Jambudvip. So he is there and he serves every Varsha. There is one devotee of the Lord worshipping his Lord. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj is also worshipping his Lord, Narsimhadev. So in 9 verses, 9 lords are kind of worship. So in Kim Purusha Varsha, Hanumanji is there and he is worshipping Lord Ramchandra. In Gopkumar's story, when he's directed by Prahlad Maharaj, he says, I am in Shantaras. What service I did? I only remembered the Lord. I did no service. If you want to know service is very important. And that is Hanumanji, as we know also. Dasyam. Sakhyam Atmanivedam, Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedam. So Dasyam example is of Hanumanji. So you go and meet him. So when Gopkumar proceeds further by the blessings of his guru, who was none other than Lord Krishna only, who disguised in the form of Brahmin. So he would chant that Gopal mantra, no matter what would happen, and that mantra would take him to the further destination. So he could go there. And as soon as he went there, he saw Hanumanji was worshipping Lord Ramchandra with great devotion, with one more associate. And when Gopkumar came, then both of them started dancing in the kirtan. So Hanumanji loves Ram Katha and wherever the kirtan goes on. So we have all the strength of Hanumanji with us. Even on Arjun's chariot also, flag was there. So that is called a Kapi Dhwaja. Kapi means monkey, and that monkey is the best of the monkeys, that is Hanumanji. And when the Pandavas would roar, then Hanumanji would roar with such a high pitch sound, it would create terror in the hearts of Kauravas. The Hanumanji would be there. And in fact, he told also at the end, who is the man of the war? Like man of the watch, man of the match, like that man of the war. Somebody said Arjun, because he fought very violently. Somebody said, no, Bhishma. As long as he was there for first 10 days, nobody could do anything. Pandavas were helpless. When he collapsed on the bed of arrows, then like that. So somebody said, no, this, that. So they asked Hanumanji, because he had a top view. Everybody had a, how do you call it, side view, front view, but nobody had top view. So he said, I saw only Krishna was fighting. Nobody else. How come? Said, Arjun may be releasing arrows, but whether the arrow would have effect or not, that was decided by Krishna. So Krishna preserves the man of the war title. Similarly, in the case of Shabri, who was a nice girl, but born in very low class family of Bhillas, that means aborigines. And when her marriage was decided, she was very much scared, worried, because in their society, marriage means hundreds of animals would be cut, their so-called feast, marriage function. So she was very much feeling compassion for all those animals who would be slaughtered. So she just escaped from there and she started serving sages in the forest. And eventually she was a disciple of Matanga Rishi on the Rishamukh Parvat in the Kishkinda land, where eventually Sugriva, Hanuman and others were also there. So she was serving there and she served, she grown to her youthful days. And in that period, Matanga Rishi was old and he decided, I am leaving back to spiritual world. And he took all the associates, but for Shabri, he told Shabri, you stay back. Because eventually Lord will come here and to this place. And how come he could be without any receptionist? So you should be the receptionist. So don't worry, you keep doing your sadhan, whatever sadhan bhakti you are doing, and he will come, and that time you should serve. Can you imagine when he will come? No idea. So her whole life went, in waiting, waiting, waiting. What a meditation. How much remembrance of the Lord. Lord would come today. So let me make everything clean. Just like gopis also. What if Krishna comes today? We should have garland ready. So they would, some garland, the gopis would make garland, somebody would clean the floor. So many things they would do every day, duties they would perform. So this is called a service in separation with the longing to meet the beloved. So that is very important. That is what our acharyas have emphasized. This is very, very important. He Radhe Braj Devi ke chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kuta, Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Padale, Kalindi Vanyai Kuta, Bhushanta Viti Sarvato Vrajapure, Kheder Mahavimhalo, Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyuga, Shri Jiva Gopalaka. So the six Goswamis, they would be shouting everywhere in Vrindavan forest like that. Hey Radhe, O Radharani, O Krishna, O Lalite, O Vishakhe, where are you? Are you there on the bank of Yamuna or at the foothill of Govardhan? Where are you? And they would be crying incessant tears. They would run all over and very loudly, Kheder Mahavivhalo, Khed, distress. But this distress is most aspired for distress. We want to be distressed like this, in madness to Krishna. And the Brajavasis would ask, oh, what is that? Who is crying? Oh, you don't know? That is Rupa. Rupa Goswami. Oh, that is Sanatana Goswami. So they would be so much enlightened by just hearing their loud cries in separation from Krishna. So this is what we are taught. And Shabari, eventually she became very old. And one day Lord Ramchandra did come. And that service she could do one day. And that is the time her service over. And then she left for the spiritual world also. By her yogic powers, she burnt her body and left for the spiritual world. So we can see for just one service how the devotees, spend their time in serving the Lord, waiting for one service. So to get service of the Lord is very rare. It is not just like that only. We should not take service cheaply. Service means Srimati Radharani. And so when Radharani comes, because we have been asking the divine couple, please engage me in your loving devotional service. So Radharani is one who is always in the topmost way engaged in the service of the Lord. So she comes and says, my dear devotee, in the morning you are crying like anything for service. So I have come now. Please engage me in the worship, in the service of my Lord. No, 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 rather you go your way. You mind your business, and I have many other businesses, by the way. So she said, what? What is this? So we should not say no to service. In case of some difficulty, we may say so, but otherwise we should accept. So there is something called a stay back committee. In our temple we have, and the huge temple is there. So when some yatra is going, everybody is very eager. Yatra, jai to Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur Dham, with Guru Maharaj, with thousands of devotees, and we will visit so many holy places. So everybody is very eager, but the deities are not going to go to Mayapur Vrindavan. They will be there, and the servants are required, Sevites. So who will stay back? So the top people sit in management and they write, okay, this devotee, and the list is put up. So this is stay back committee, and their hearts only are broken down there only. So one may feel very much distressed. Once I was told like that, Shampu called me and said, that Sundarshyam, you know, that there is scarcity of brahmanas. This was in 2001, I believe, 2003 maybe. So I was just wanting to know whether you could stay back and serving Shri Radha Kunjari. I said, yes, Prabhu, if you want, I will stay back. Because I don't want for your pleasure. So it was very painful. In fact, I was the one who drove the rickshaw. I knew rickshaw without license. So I dropped them to station. And when I came back, I was thinking, oh, se saba sangira sange je koilo vilas se sangana paya kande Narottam Das, but Sundarshyam Das, like because whole ashram was empty. Brahmachari ashram. We were only 7, 8 of us, and Tripuran Pujari. But I got to serve Kunj Maharaji very 6 consecutive days. I could dress Gaurnitai. And then one day, next day also I went, and next to next. But in between, one senior devotee was already dressing. So I thought, let him serve. But it was very nice. We could find very close friendship with the deities. So, what are the qualifications of the God's representative, Lord's representative that are being mentioned here by Prabhupada? He should be unaffected by the three modes. Three modes could be there, but he is unaffected by that. So, there are three terms: Maya Dhish, Maya Dhin, and Maya Tit. Maya Dhish is the Supreme Lord, he is the master of Maya. Daivi Hesha Gunamai, Mama Maya. She is Lord's maid servant. And also he says, Maya Adhyakshana Prakriti. Under my supervision, Maya was. So he controls Maya. The famous example is given when you go to meet your friend and the dog at the door comes running, barking. You get scared, you run here and there. The dog is not going to leave. And you shout for the friend self, Ravi! And Ravi comes loudly running. Tommy! Sit down! But his tail is still wagging. I was about to pounce upon this fellow, but the master came. But the Tommy is sitting and looking at him. He can proceed. Master has ordered. So Maya is also like that. Jahan Krishna, Tahan Nahi, Maya Radhika. Maya is there always. Not that Maya is not there. Krishna and Maya were simultaneously seen by Vasudev. But where there is Krishna, Maya's influence is not there. Like Tommy is also there and Ravi is also there, master and servant. But when master says should sit down, shut up, he stops. So we have to surrender to Krishna. So Krishna is Maya Dhish and there are Maya Dhin. We are, as conditioned souls, we are within the grip of Maya. We become football and she keeps kicking. In fact, she's such an expert football player. Even I don't know how many team players in the football match. 11, 11, 22 people. Okay, at least. Okay, 22, all of them. But it doesn't happen that the ball is kicked and goes in the sky. And every time without touching the ground, it is kicked again. No, many times it touches the ground. But Maya is such an expert football player. She kicks. And before even can one reach the ground, she is already there also. And she kicks from there also. And like that, the living entity, football, not only within this world, but within this universe and interplanet, universal, what do you call, kicks are also being given free of charge, just with one payment of desire. Prabhupada was in the morning walk and one boy came running. When he sat in the car and the door closed, about to start, immediately one boy who was in the part of that morning walk but somehow did not ask question. He said, Swamiji, Swamiji, I want to surrender my life fully to Krishna. What should I do? Prabhupada said, desire. And car went on. The Prabhupada's answer was over. Desire. So we desire to be kicked by Maya. So she says, Aja bete. And then she keeps kicking. So we are Maya Dhin. And there are devotees, pure devotees, who are Maya Teeth. They have transcended Maya. They are in this world, but not of this world. Because they take form shelter of Krishna while being here only. Because Krishna wants them to be here to continue their services. Brahmani adhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotiha. Lipyate nasa papena padma patra ivambasa. In 5th chapter, Krishna says, Brahmani adhaya karmani. The pure devotee of the Lord always does devotional activities which are dedicated to the Lord only, for Lord's pleasure. Sangam tyaktva karotiya. He gives up the association, materialistic association. He never takes it. Lipyate nasa papena. Because he is not associating with the materialistic association offered by Maya, he is never overcome by pap, by sinful actions and thereby sinful reactions. He is completely free, just like Padma Patra Ivambhasa. The lotus leaves, lotus flowers leaves, lotus plants leaves. They are in the water, muddy water, but untouched by the water. So that is being in this world, but not of this world. So our consciousness is very much ingrained, or it's stuck in this material world. And the consciousness of I being so and so, false ego. False ego is the binding connection of the jiva with the material world. If only false ego is removed, then the jiva, in fact, Devotees say that if only false ego is removed, then the pure soul is next to the Supreme Lord. That is the only barrier, only mountain between us and the Lord. If there is no false ego, that means there is a true ego. Jivera Swarupa hai, Krishna Nityadas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sanatana Goswami begin with this. As for Rupa Goswami, they begin with Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavanji. For Sanatana Goswami, Jivera Swarupa hai, Krishna Nityadas. So this line should be remembered 24 hours a day. If we can only stand on the platform of being servants of the Lord or servants of the Lord, then Maya cannot touch. So that is the power of the pure devotees who are beyond the clutches of Maya, and they are not affected. Three tap are not disturbing them. Sanatana Goswami inquires also in his inquiry that "Kyami kene amay jare tapatre, iha nahi jani kemone hita hoy." And why am I suffering? Why the threefold miseries are troubling me? I don't know. You could enlighten me. And Mahaprabhu gives Sanatan Shiksha in the 28th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th chapters of Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita very extensively. And based on that, he wrote so many books like Sri Brahad Bhagavatam, etc. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha. Iti mam yo abhijanati karma bhir nasabhadyate. Namam karmani limpanti. You know, with whatever actions I do, they are not ordinary actions. Janma karma chame divyam. So namam karmani limpanti. Whatever actions I do, they are not within the realm of Maya. That's why there is no reaction, material reaction for them. There are three types of things there told: karma, akarma, and vikarma. Karma means prescribed duties according to one's varna and ashram. Like for Brahmanas, yajan, yajan, patan, patan, dan, pratigraha. Which are similarly for Kshatriyas, they should be heroic, and many other things. For Vaishyas, Krushi, Goraksha, Vanijam, farming, banking, etc. And for Shudras, serving the higher three social orders. And similarly, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, student life, married life, retired life, and renounced order of life. So they should know their duties and they should do accordingly, in which there will be Vishnu's worship and all will be there. Varnashrama Acharvata, Purushena Parapuna, Vishnu Aradhyate Panta Nanya Tastosha Karana. So Vishnu Aradhana will be there in that. And that way, their karma is proper karma, prescribed duties. But then Vikarma is forbidden activities, that which breaks the laws of the Lord. So then one goes to hell for the reactions. But akarma is that action which does not produce any material reaction because it is divya karma. It is for the service of the Lord. So that akarma a devotee performs while being in this world, and thereby he doesn't get any material result, piety or impiety, going to heaven or hell. He goes back to Godhead only. So that Krishna, his activities are not even akarma. His activities are leelas. That is according to his pleasure. Everybody has to arrange according to Krishna's desire. So Krishna does those pastimes. So namam karmani limpanti name karma phales. I don't get any reaction for my activities. Iti mam yo abhijanati. One who knows about me like this, that my activities are not mundane, they are transcendental, and they don't produce any good, bad karma kind of, you know, karma bhir nasabhadyate. He also doesn't get bound in the cycle of this karmic reactions. So that those are the pure devotees. They are very clear about Krishna's activities. So devotees perform only akarma and they know Krishna's activities are all leelas and that way they go back to Godhead. So such pure representatives of the Lord are required. They are fit to disseminate this knowledge for the benefit of all living entities. Unfortunately, in the world today, we find so many people dharma dwajis. They wave the flag of dharma by wearing saffron clothes, shaven head, or matted locks of hair, and they are dharma dwajis. They only wave the flag of dharma, but then their activities are very heinous, very low class. Some of those people are behind the bars also. Even they became so gross that the worldly people also understood and thought these are useless fellows. So they are not the ones fit for disseminating this knowledge. Only in parampara, pure parampara of guru disciple, disciplic succession, this knowledge has to be disseminated by pure souls. And such souls, Prabhupada uses the word in his book several times, transparent via medium. Transparent via medium is just like between me and you. Even if we keep 10,000 thin sheets of glass. If all are transparent, you can clearly see me, I can clearly see you. But even one of those sheets, not 9,999 are all transparent, but one sheet in between is opaque, glass sheet. Finished. You cannot see me, I cannot see you. That becomes a problem. So, like that, we have our Guru Parampara, which is very transparent via medium. So, they are all very pure. One can see Krishna through all the Gurus. Everybody wants, and they come for taking us. Our prayers, services go up, and the blessings come down in parampara because it is unbroken chain of disciplic succession. Our prayers are definitely reaching the Lord, and blessings of the Lord are definitely reaching us, nourishing us at every moment. Ideally, if we are so dedicated, pratipadam purna amruta aswadana. At every step, one experiences full bliss every moment. One will not hanker for anything else. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin sitona dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Yam labdhva cha aparam labham manyate nadhikam tatah. There is nothing better than this. Once Raishampur was telling one person, this 15-20 years back, my path to Golok Vrindavan is a straight highway, long though, but without any obstacle. And I'm running on this highway with full speed. And when I heard that, I thought, wow, I think I should run behind you. But lag is there. His speed is maybe 80, 100 kilometer per hour, and ours is maybe 10, 20. But fortunately, we are still on that same highway, going to Krishna only. So in this world, the goodness is tinged with passion and ignorance. In the higher mode, there are always seeds of lower modes, which get watered if one takes wrong association. So person in the mode of goodness, he has this knowledge and happiness. In fact, that happiness is not good because that keeps him secured within his own realm. But Krishna consciousness is going beyond goodness, mundane goodness also. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabdita. Prabhupada is calling it as in Lord Shiva's prayers in fourth canto, I think. It is said Vasudev. Why Vasudev? Because from Vasudev comes Vasudev. Krishna comes through the medium of his father Vasudev. So because Krishna is born from Vasudev, pure goodness is called as Vasudev platform, as Prabhupada says. Shuddha Sattva. It is not this mundane goodness. Vasudev ji was not in so-called goodness. He was transcendental. That's why Krishna appeared through him. So these three modes, uh, in the higher mode, there are seeds of the lower mode. So somebody in Sukham and Jnanam, people of this world who are in goodness, they feel proud of their knowledge. I know what others don't know. I am superior to them. So sometimes because of our academic background, academic kind of system, we also tend to think, I know something which many other devotees don't know. So it's very special. Prabhu, where is it from? From Sundarshyam Samhita. Oh really? I heard Brahma Samhita, Manu Samhita. What is this new? It's, no. If you surrender to me, I may reveal to you in future. Everybody has to become my servant. So this is dangerous. This is academic approach in pure devotional service. So this is contaminated. So the passion will develop, and one will become offensive to devotees, and one will fall down to ignorance, and one will be lost. So one should not be like that. One should always be in the mode of being the humble servant of the devotees. Advancement in spiritual life means increasing of masters, and advancement in material life means increasing of servants. When one joins a new company, he is the only what do you call lowermost person. Everybody is above him only. But as he so-called stays there, continues serving, then he gets promoted, and then there are people below him also, 5 people, 10 people. I don't know what they call. Many things they have. Leader, team leader, this that. So more and more and more. Then one becomes manager. One day maybe CEO also. Then everybody is below him, kind of. So this is material progress. But in spiritual life, I had, you know, so many. I had accepted one master in the beginning. Some particular devotee who brought me to Krishna consciousness. I was listening to him only. He said, "Come for weekly program." I came for weekly program. He said, "Come for Gaur Purnima in temple." I came for Gaur Purnima. I was only listening to him. I had no connection with any other devotee. But then, as we come in the association of devotees, then we accept one, two, three more devotees. Then we may stay in the community of devotees, then we accept 10, 15, 20 devotees. And then when we are initiated, maybe accepting hundreds of devotees. And eventually, so many masters, they all will protect. So this is the proper understanding in spiritual life. All the pure devotees of the Lord have been always thinking themselves of servants of the Lord. You know? He says, मज्जन्मना फलमिदं मधुकैटभारे मत्प्रार्थनीय मद अनुग्रह एष एव त्वद्भृत्य भृत्य परिचारक भृत्य भृत्य भृत्यस्य भृत्य इति मां स्मर लोकनाथ. King Kulasheka's prayer, very nice prayer. It's one of my most favorite prayers. So in he's saying Majjanmana Palamidam Madhu Kaitabare. O killer of Madhu and Kaitab demon, Lord Krishna. This would be Majjanmana Phalamidam, would be the perfectional fruit of my life. Majjanmana Phalamidam Madhu Kaitabare. Mad Prathaniya. This is my only Prathana prayer at your lotus feet. Mad Anugraha Esha Eva. It would be your blessing, favor upon me. If only what? Tad Brutya Brutya Paricharaka Brutya Brutya. Bhrutyasya Bhrutya iti mam smara lokanatha. If only you could accept me as the servant of 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 your servants. 7 times. The Prabhupada says 100 times down the line one should go. So this is progress. That means no competition with devotees. Rather accepting them as my masters and becoming their servant. I want more and more devotees to give me orders, engage me in Krishna service. And so many devotees engage me in Krishna service. Where is the question Maya entering? Isn't it? If 10,000 devotees are around me, waiting that, okay, this first 100 devotees are telling him service, only after that my number come. So where is the number for Maya? Maya is outside of the whole thing. But unfortunately, many sadhakas, practitioners don't prefer like this. They feel like I should reach such a position wherein nobody should dictate anything. I should be the dictator. So that is Maya's very amazing way of working. Very subtly she enters and makes one proud of his so-called higher position. There is no higher position. To think oneself higher than other devotees is a very lowly position. And it's a fall down in consciousness. And such a person will also experience gross fall down eventually. But to accept every devotee as our pastor is the perfection, is the progress in spiritual life. So such a person who carries such knowledge, he gets tinged. The pride comes, and then he comes in the passion. Passionate person works very hard to get some position, like you can see in the outside world. How in the companies people work very hard, uh, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, if possible 16, 18 hours. Companies also are saying, stay here only. We'll get you married, your children can be here only. We'll have everything here only. Stay here only. So workaholic people, that, that kind of thing. So such a person works very hard to get some position, and afterwards he has to work very hard to maintain the position. So life goes like that only. So it's very dangerous lifestyle. So in working hard, he gets tired on weekdays and weekends, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or sometimes Sunday. He just collapses in ignorance. So in every higher mode, there are seeds of lower mode, and they get watered by bad association. But if one is in goodness and he takes good devotee association, he can transcend even goodness and get into pure goodness by the blessings of the devotees. So that is the recommended path in the scriptures. In the such pure goodness platform, one can have the purposes, one can understand the science of God. It is said, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. If that Shrunvatam Katha Krishna, if one is hearing the Katha about the Lord, his heart will be purified because Krishna personally cleanses it. Nityam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. All the anarthas would be removed by serving great souls and by serving Grantha Bhagavad. So that's how we should read Prabhupada books daily. At least for 1 hour, Prabhupada recommends for all the sincere followers within ISKCON. And then the person Bhagavats who are leading their lives as per the guidelines given in book Bhagavad. So book Bhagavad and person Bhagavad. These two when they are served, what happens? Tada rajas tamo bhavaha kama lobha adayasya cheta ete ranavidham sthitam sattve prasidati. Then the influence effects of the lower modes of passion and ignorance characterized by lust and greed are removed and devotee is situated in the mode of goodness. Sthitam sattve prasidati. So when we serve devotees, we overcome passion and ignorance and get situated in goodness, initial stages. But when we offend Vaishnavas, we fall down from that stage to passion and ignorance. And that is how many devotees in the over the period of time feel less enthusiastic and some even leave Krishna consciousness. Why? Because they offended Vaishnavas. Vaishnava aparadha is number one reason for devotees facing tremendous problems all over the world. Very dangerous. In fact, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami describes very vividly Hathi Mata. Oh, what he says? जदि वैष्णव अपराध उठे हाथी माता उपाड़े व छिंडे तारे सुखे जाए पाता. This Bhakti Lata beach seed is given by Guru. We sow it in the heart, fertile heart, and we water it through Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing and chanting, and it starts growing. It penetrates even the layers of this universe, then Brahma Jyoti, and goes beyond Vaikuntha planets to Golok Vrindavan. And there, the Lata creeper takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And that is the time it produces fruit, fruit of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem, which we so much aspire for. So that is produced, and eventually it falls down in the garden where the garden is still alive. His gardener is still in this material world, going on hearing and chanting. So the fruit comes and he keeps eating the fruit. If he is eating with right hand, with left hand, he has to continue Shravanam Kirtanam. Or if he is eating with left hand, then he can continue with the right hand. But that has to go on. Otherwise, it is gone because lata requires continuous water, not unlike tree requires only in the initial stage when it's small plant. Also once it grows into robust tree, it doesn't require any more water. It finds out, the roots go deeper and deeper, find out the source of water for nourishment. But lata creeper requires continuous watering. So this is the progress, but there are dangers also explained. So he's saying Jadi Vaishnava Aparad. If a Vaishnava is offended, the person commits offense to a devotee. Basically, offense means disrespect. Every Vaishnava deserves respect. Everyone deserves respect for this matter. Because everybody is Jiva, Krishna's child. That's why everybody has to be respected. Nobody should be disrespected. But Vaishnavas are special because they have taken shelter of Krishna, they are trying to take shelter of Krishna. So their position is unique in the creation. So how to respect different varieties, grades of Vaishnava, that is also explained by our acharyas. Krishnetiyasya giritam manasa dikshasti chet pranatibhischa bhajantamisham shushrusaya bhajana vigyam ananya manya nindadi shunyam rudam ipsita sangalavya. How new devotee should be at least respected in the mind. If he pays obeisances, panchang pranam, the senior devotee may not or need not bow down, but that is for madhyamadhikari. If we are not madhyamadhikari, then we have to bow down also ideally. So he accepts the respect and he also bows down to him in the mind. Dikshasti chet pranati bhischa bhajantamisham. But one who is spiritually initiated, this means ideally second initiation, Brahman Diksha. But our first Diksha is also given after thorough scrutiny and all that. The devotees are very good even when they are taking first initiation. They are quite dedicated. But ideally it means second initiation because he says Dikshasti chet pranati bhischa bhajantam isham. He is engaged in deity worship. Bhajantam isham. He is worshipping the deities. So that is referring to second initiation. And what to speak of pure devotees? So second initiated devotee we have to pay obeisances by physically bowing down, panchang pranam. And the pure devotees, they are characterized by one good quality, one highest quality, nindadi shunyam. One is only mentioned, ninda adi shunyam. So how much important it is to be free from criticism of devotees. And how much criticism of devotees goes on. My God, people are so much eager that they are not happy with just devotee community. So they are going on internet also, and so much criticism. Whole internet, a lot of it is filled with all this garbage of Vaishnavas criticism. So one should not go to internet for this kind of things. If you want to know devotee, meet him personally, inquire, Pranipat Pariprashna and so on. Then we know who stands where, rather than going to internet for some envious persons, all the garbage that is vomited over there. We don't have to lick up that whole garbage by reading all that stuff. So devotees have to be respected very properly. So when we do that, then we make progress. So one should not become envious of devotees, offend Vaishnavas, but one should respect them and serve them. And then one will be free from passion and ignorance. One will come to the mode of goodness. And then when he proceeds further in the mode of goodness, while situated there, one is going on serving the Lord, then Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, Mukta Sangasya, he will be situated in pure goodness also. The whole series is given over there, and we need to take shelter of that. Prabhupada is also mentioning about Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means he is within this body, but the soul is not having the consciousness within this material world. He is in this world, but not of this world. The example of dry coconut is given. When it gets dried up, one can shake it and know the pulp, that brown thing, white pulp covered by thin brownish thing. And it's completely rotating inside. One can clearly feel it. And what to speak, if you break it in an appropriate way, then the whole ball comes out as it is. So it was not touching the surface of that shell. So that is how a devotee will be when he is a Jivan Mukta. But for that, the whole science of devotional service has to be practiced by every sadhaka, by practitioner. Then he will be like that. And that is what is also represented by the sannyas danda of sannyasis. That his body, mind, and words are engaged in the service of the Lord fully. None of these three faculties have any scope for Maya. His mind is thinking of Krishna, services, how to do more and more services to Hari, Guru, Vaishnava. His words are always glorifying Krishna and devotional process. And his body is engaged in the service of Krishna only. So this is the perfection of life. And one who has achieved that state, he is given Tridanda, sannyas, because he is free from Maya's all the allurements. And such a person, Prabhupada, is called also Goswami. In the first verse of this Upadeshamrit, Nectar of Instruction, he says that he is a Goswami who has controlled the six urges, the urge to speak, Pacho Vegam, Manasah, the urges of the mind, Krodha Vegam, urges of the anger, and tongue, belly, genitals. Especially tongue. If tongue is controlled, then other things become well controlled, becomes very easy. Such a person is called as Goswami. That means master of the senses. Krishna is the master of the senses, Rishikesh. So this person is also called as master of the senses. Not that he becomes like Krishna, but he engages all his senses in the service of Rishikesh. Rishikena Rishikesha. Tumi Rishikesha, Rishikadamiya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, oh my dear Lord, you are Rishikesh. You are the master of the senses. Please control my senses. So just prayer is not enough. One has to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Then Krishna will automatically control. Just like all of us are sitting here and either speaking or hearing Krishna Katha, what wrong can our senses do here? Eyes cannot go in the wrong direction, and tongue cannot taste something nasty or something, nor can nose do that. So this is how one can control his senses, by always being engaged in Krishna conscious activities. That is the perfection. Prabhupada in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam also explains about Dhiras and Narottamas. When Dhritarashtra was inspired by Vidurji, who was having conversation with Maitreya in this way, so he felt compassion for his elder brother Dhritarashtra. So he comes all the way back to Hastinapur, though he was insulted from Hastinapur, and he was very heavily, he was removed, banned by Duryodhan. And Dhritarashtra had kept quiet. But still, Vidurji comes there and he speaks very heavily, preaching, very heavy preaching. You know. And then Dhritarashtra is convinced. He says, "Yes, Karishya Vachanam Tava. I'll do what." So they say, "Okay, come to forest." So he takes him to forest. But because Dhritarashtra started devotional service late in his life, almost at the end of his life, he could become only Dhira. Came to the mode of goodness. He was very passionate. Dhritarashtra, very word suggests. Dhrita means to accept. Rashtra means the nation, the chair, one who is very attached to his post position. He wanted to be the king of the whole world. Unfortunately, being blind, that was given to Pandu. But he tried so much. Okay, at least if I don't get, at least let my son get. Duryodhan get. So such a person who was so much passionate and ignorant. When Akrurji also was sent by Krishna from Dwarka to Hastinapur, when he said about Lord's position, Dhritarashtra says, "Your words, Akrura, are very enlightening. They are like, what do you call? Bijli, what do you call? Lightning. They are like lightning in my cloud like brain. But they stay there for some time only. So lightning only shines and everything illuminated, again dark. So, and Aguru says it's all useless. And he goes back and reports to Krishna. So he was very passionate. So he came to the mode of goodness because he started very late and could not proceed further. So became a dhira. Dhirastattarana muhyati. The person in the mode of goodness is not disturbed by seeing so many changes. Just like this corona is affecting the whole world. And so one is not disturbed. One takes precaution, but one is not disturbed. Krishna, whatever Krishna wants, that is only going to happen. Whatever he wanted, that only happened. What he wants is only happening. What he will want, that only will happen. Who has the control? Nobody ever had control, is not having control, will not have a control. Krishna is the controller. Isha vastam idam sarvam, yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Everything is owned, animate and inanimate, is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada says to think that everything is going by the will of the Supreme. This consciousness is Krishna consciousness. So we have to be very clear. Krishna is the controller, not me. He's the enjoyer, he's the proprietor, he's the master. And I'm only his humble servant. Whatever he dictates, I just carry it out. So against this, Prabhupada describes Narottamas. Narottamas means pure devotee. Unfortunately, Dhritarashtra started late devotional practice, so he could not reach Narottam stage. Narottam stage, Vidur himself is on the Narottam stage. So such pure devotees of the Lord selects for disseminating of this knowledge. Gyanis and yogis, they can also reach the mode of goodness, but they cannot go beyond because they are again self-centered only. They want to get rid of all the troubles of this material world. Whereas pure devotees never worry about the troubles of this world. Devotees don't pray. Sometimes some devotees came to me, Prabhuji, please pray that this corona will get over. I said, why should corona get over? Let it go. Karuna na hoile, kandiya kandiya, prana na rakhi boar. Oh Gurudev, if you are not merciful to me, Karuna hona chahiye. Kandi, I will cry and cry. Prana na rakhi boar. I will not be able to maintain my life without Karuna. So he was saying, no, Prabhu, what are you talking? Not Karuna, Corona. अरे डरो ना भाई कितना डर रहे हो no problem, whatever Krishna wants. If Krishna wants to kill you, none of your precautions can stop from that. And if Krishna wants to protect you, that doesn't mean that we are careless. We take precaution. But most important is to be Krishna conscious. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur convinced Prabhupada in 1922 first meeting itself, only problem is lack of Krishna consciousness. Not the Mughals who ruled for 800 years, they went away. British who are ruling now, they will also go away. And that did happen. 22 to 47. So some 20, 25 more years and British left. That time only so many things were happening. Subhash Chandra Bose was already 1 year academically senior to Prabhupada in the same college, Scottish Churches College. And he was having his movements already going on underground in the college area only to the boys, to youngsters. Come on, we should revolt against this British. And the seeds of Azad Hind Sena were already sown there only in Scottish Churches College. And Prabhupada was also influenced by Gandhiji. So that was also there. So all efforts were going on. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said this, they will also go away. But all-time rulers for every conditioned soul in this material world are the mind and senses. And they can be relieved from this torture, which is ongoing torture, provided they get Krishna consciousness. This is the only problem, lack of Krishna consciousness, and only solution is Krishna consciousness. So you should be enthusiastic to spread this Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was convinced on the spot, there only. One meeting might have hardly lasted 1.5 hours. When they were going, as per the description, they were going on the Kolkata streets, and Naren Malik and Abhay Charan Day. So it was illuminated. And by the time they returned, it was dark because in Kolkata, eastern direction, eastern side, the sun sets early. So might have lasted 1.5 hours, max 2 hours maybe. But within 1-2 hours, Bhaktivinoda Thakur changed the history of the whole world. So यदि भक्ति सिद्धांत न होई तो प्रभुपाद न होई तो भाई आम डूबी तो I'm now drowned in this ocean of birth and death. So we are very grateful to Bhaktivinoda Thakur for preaching. So one moon is required. Prabhupada is that moon, who was preached by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So there is no need of millions of stars. One moon is enough. So if we take shelter of Prabhupada's words, then we are surely to get delivered. So Gyanis and Yogis are not considered, they are not Jivan Muktas of this sort, who could be representative of the Lord, because they are self-centered. So Uddhav, towards the end, Prabhupada says, such a devotee of the Lord is never affected by material strength, intelligence, or even renunciation. So Uddhav was one of the chief warriors in the Yadu army, very powerful, very chivalrous fighter. So he was having that material strength, bodily strength, and he was very intelligent, directly disciple of Brahaspati. In fact, he was acting as the counselor for Krishna also. When simultaneously his two proposals were there, Yudhishthira Maharaj was going to perform Rajasya Yagya. Very lovingly he invited Krishna to Hastinapur. Please, O Lord, please come. There's no question. In fact, the whole purpose of Rajasya Yagya was to glorify Krishna's position to the whole world. The devotees are considered poverty stricken generally. But I want to show the whole world how Krishna's devotees are no less in any way. So this was the only motto of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he wanted Krishna. That's why he was given Agra Puja also. First worship. So he had called already. But then simultaneously a stranger came in court, Sudharma assembly of the Yadus. And he said, I have been sent by the 20,000 what do you call kings who were kidnapped by Jarasan, and who was going to offer them as Narabali, was going to offer them to Kali in a big sacrifice. So they were all pleading, "Oh Lord, please come and rescue us." So he also came. So simultaneously two invitations. So what to do? So Krishna asks Uddhav, "Dear Uddhav, what do you say?" So Uddhav says that he should go for this yagya of Yudhishthir, because when you go there, before starting the yagya, he has to send a what do you call the invitation for all the kings to become his subordinate kings under him. But everybody will be defeated and they will become subordinate except Jarasandha, who cannot be defeated in the fight, in the war. He can be defeated only on 1-to-1 basis, and that only Bhima can kill him. So everything is predicted, told by the best counselor for the Yadus, that is Uddhav. So Uddhav was very intelligent, and then also he was renounced also. He was not attached to anything of this world. He would wear the clothes of Krishna. He was so simple. He was not thinking, I am also a prince. I should have new clothes. No, Krishna's discarded clothes, they were not torn clothes. So Krishna is after all Dwarkadish. So they were accepted by Uddhav. So he was very renounced. Such a person is called Prabhu in this verse. Prabhu means Lord. He has control over Maya. And there are so many examples of that. But I think time is over. We will end. Any questions? Oh, you have till 9:30? Sunday. Okay. So, example of Narad Muni can be seen. How he preached to Mother Kayadhu in his ashram, in Badrika ashram. Generally, it is recommended a man should never be alone with any woman. Prabhupada was once talking to Brahmanand Prabhu in his room, and suddenly Pishima, his younger sister Bhavatarini, she came and she started speaking with Prabhupada in Bangla. They would always speak in Bangla. She knew no other language. And then talk went on and on and on. So Brahman Prabhu thought, I'm just wasting my time here standing. What can I do? And they are talking, brother and sister, and I don't understand anything of Bangla. So better I push off. So he turned around and he was about to leave. Immediately Prabhupada said, Brahmanan, be here. Now, Guru Agya, Guru's order. So he stayed there. So she talked for some more time. She left. And when she left, Prabhupada said, Matra swastra duhitra va na vivikta sano bhavet balavan indriya gramo vidvam samapi karshati. And he was wondering what is that. Afterwards, he found out from Prabhupada books. The translation says one should not be alone in seclusion with one's own mother, one's own sister, or one's daughter, because the senses are so impetuous, uncontrollable, that they can drive even man of intelligence mad. So Prabhupada personally demonstrated that in his life. So that is Narad Muni, though he knows the scriptural injunction, Bhagavad, he is Bhagavad Acharya, the top class devotee of the Lord, knowing all the scriptures thoroughly. But he took Mother Kayadu, rescuing her from demigods who were taking her to kill her child in the womb. But he told him, no, the child is not going to be another demon or a bigger demon than Hiranyakashipu. He is a Mahabhagavata already. Lord resides in his heart continuously. So the demigods felt bad that they offended mother of a pure devotee. They released her, paid obeisances to her, circumambulated her body, because in her body, in her womb is pure devotee Prahlad, in whose heart Krishna is there. So her body is temple. So they circumambulated her and then they left. And Narad Muni promised, told her, my dear daughter, don't worry. Till your husband comes back and you feel security, till then you could stay in my ashram, in Badrika ashram. And she stayed there. And whether day or night, Narad Muni was unaware completely what's happening. And he would just go on speaking Bhagavad Dharma, which Prahlad repeats eventually, Kaumara, Acharit Prabhupada, etc. So he was going on and on. Mother Kayadu being pregnant, tired, and whole day services in the ashram, different things. She would be feeling drowsy. That anyway happens in Katha sometimes. So she, with closed eyes, she was falling here and there. But Narad Muni was going on and on. And child Prahlad was hearing. I saw one Telugu movie in which it was shown very nicely. That any point Narad Muni would make, the boy Prahlad in the womb would say, it's nice point. Go ahead. And Narad Muni would go ahead. And his eyes are closed. Narad Muni doesn't know what is happening. Kayadu is going on. But the whole teachings were for mainly Prahlad only. Because Narad Muni's contribution is much before Prahlad's appearance in the womb also. From day one or day zero. For Garbhadhan Sanskar also Narad Muni is instrumental. And for everything else, Narad Muni is only instrumental. Narad Muni is that powerful guru. He's our Sampradacharya also. So he preached to Kayadu, though it is said one should not be alone. And what to speak, he is a brahmachari. Brahmachari should be never alone with a woman. But because he is beyond the three modes, he could do it. One should not imitate him. We are not on that platform. We will fall down immediately. Similarly, Haridas Thakur preached to prostitute in the dead of night in the jungle alone. And she also came very in a very sensuous way, dressed beautifully, scent and ornaments. And she was exposing her bodily parts and telling that you are so beautiful, young, and I'm beautiful. And let us celebrate our youthful days by union. And Haridas Thakur said, yes, I'll satisfy you. But only, rounds are remaining. His were not 60 rounds which get over in the morning only. His rounds would never get over for any time in his life. But that time he had taken special vow also of finishing, completing 1 crore holy name. Prabhupada says every day if one chants 3,33,333 holy name, then in a month one can chant 1 crore. So he was already chanting 3 lakhs anyway. So then we know how every night she came, and by the third night only, she became pure devotee. She was also chanting, "Oh my Hari, oh my Lord Hari, oh my Lord Hari." She became mad and surrendered her life, became his disciple, and told him also Ramchandra Khan's plot for assassinating his character. And Haridas Thakur said, I knew that fool Ramchandra Khan has plotted like this against me. So I was planning to leave that time itself, but I just thought of delivering you. So I stayed back. So, thought of delivering a young prostitute. Don't think. So, one will be destroyed. We are not on that platform. He is Namachari, appointed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So not only prostitute, eventually when he was in Fulia, this was when he was in Belnapol. When he was in Fulia, next to Shantipur, Advaitacharya had given him a cave to reside. That place, Maya comes. And when Maya comes, the whole scenic beauty increases millions of times. Nice scent is flowing and everything is so charming. And she comes, the place gets illuminated. Maya is illuminating. You can see the malls in the evening. Maya with her pompous display. And she came and she also proposed Haridas in a similar way, that why not unite? And he said again, rounds are remaining. So our round should always remain. Not to our managers in the temple or voices, saying that, Prabhu, rounds are remaining. Sorry. No, that is Krishna Seva. When Maya comes, then we can say rounds are remaining. Not when Krishna comes. Seva comes. Seva is our life. Prabhupada says devotee without service is dead. So 24 hours we should have service. Night also we serve by sleeping. So that body gets rejuvenated and next day we have a lot of energy to serve. 18 wakeful hours. We have a lot of energy. So everything should be seva only. That is a devotee. We can see that how Lord is beyond Maya, like when Lord Ram, he lost Sita, Ravan kidnapped her. That time Ram was so much mad. In madness, he was calling, "Oh Sita, Sita, where are you? Oh my dear trees, have you seen Sita? Did she come in this direction? Who has taken her?" And he was crying like anything. And that time, Mother Parvati, Sati, she says to her husband, Lord Shiva, just see your master. You told me, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Vistulyam Rama Nama Varanane. And I always chant the name of Lord Ram and just see your master. He is an henpecked husband. With the loss of his wife, he is crying so much. So let us test him. Our Shivji said, no, no, no. He is my master. This is all Lila. This is not, he's not henpecked husband. She said, no, no, I want to test him. I'm going. You also come. He said, I will not come. Brahmaji went, but Shivji did not. Shivji was clear. Brahmaji went means he wanted to test whether Krishna is supreme or not. But here Shivji is very intelligent. So he said, no, I will not. But Sati went. She took form of Sita and she stood in one place where Lord Ramchandra was moving that direction only. And as soon as Ramchandra saw Sita, was none other than Sati. Immediately said, "Oh, Mother Parvati, Sati, what are you doing here? By the way, where is your husband? Wife should not be alone here." And she was shocked. How does he know that I am? Because I am disguised as Sita, but he knows. And he stopped all lamentation and is inquiring properly like a sane man. So Lord cannot be under Maya. Maya is under Lord's control. So we have to be very clear about that. And our Shivji was very clear. That's why he's topmost devotee. We find in the case of Hanumanji how he was very powerful and very intelligent also. He learned this knowledge from Sun God in his childhood only. But Sun God said, how will you learn? Because I have to be on continuously on move. I cannot stop and offer this knowledge to you. So what that is my problem. If I stop, the whole world will stop. So I have to continue going. Hanumanji said, never a problem. I will fly in the backward direction facing you. You continuously give knowledge and I will make notes. Not here. Make notes here. So he was very brilliant from childhood only. And he had got blessings of so many great souls. That's why he became a little naughty also in his Leela. And he was pulling the legs of the sages and doing so many mischievous activities. So they cursed him. May you forget everything. He became very humble. Then he would take their tilak box and offer them and hold their clothes. Very humble menial servant. And all suggested, very good, very good. Remain like this only, not like that. But when it was required in the Ram service, then also he was humble because he had forgotten. And then it was Jambavan who reminded that Hanuman, only you can cross this ocean, nobody else. Somebody said, I can go 10 yojanas. What is the use? You will fall in the ocean. Angad said, I can go all the way 100 yojanas, but I can't come back. They said, then finished. They will kill you there. Jamban said, in my young days, when Lord Vamandev had raised his lotus foot upward, that time I was going round and round continuously. That is Jamban's power. But I have become old now. There is no strength in the body. So I also can't. And only one person was silent, that was Hanumanji. So Jamban reminded Hanuman, you have the power, and he glorified him. You have this blessing from this Lord and this demigod. You alone can do this seva. And then Hanumanji got up, such a form, Prachand, very big, huge. And then he jumped. It is said the force of his jump was so powerful, intense, that many trees also got uprooted from that mountain. And they also flew along with him. But they were not as powerful as him. They dropped in the ocean only. Whereas Hanumanji flew, went over the ocean. And he's such a perfect servant of Lord Ram. When he came back with the news of Mother Sita, he knew Lord Ram is very much in anxiety about the news about Mother Sita. So how to tell the news? So he said first, "Mil gayi Sita mujhe." Mil gayi. First word was, I met her. She is there, alive, and she's safe. I know details like that. And otherwise, he would have said, Sita Devi. So what happened? Whether she's alive or dead. So his anxiety would have increased. So he says in such a way, he's perfect servant. He knows how to serve the master. King Karomi. What should I do? Is personified by Hanumanji. So we should pray to Hanumanji also, that he gives us power to render service. He has power to render service. He has the intelligence to know how to render service, and is most enthusiastic for services every time. After Lord Ramchandra came back also in Ayodhya, the biggest problem they were facing was this. Hanumanji would be all the time next to the Lord only. So then they made schedule and they told that no service for you. The chart, what? He said, no, nothing like that. I also need service. They said, no, no service. You did enough service. Now not required. He said, no, but one service is not there in the list, which you forgot. He said, no, we have covered all the services. He said, no, one service you have forgotten. Which service? So now when Lord Ramchandra, he yawns, somebody has to do this. I don't know what it is called. Chutki in Hindi, but in English. So whatever it is. So somebody is required for that. Oh, they said, oh, that in the night, he will feel like that. So night you can come and you can do that and go back again. He said, no. Lord Ramchandra in the service of his devotees doesn't take proper rest and all that. So he's always tired and all that. Anytime he may yawn. So I should be always 24 hours next to him to do this. And they understood this person is no use. He will be always there next to Lord Ram. He was more powerful than Sugriv also. But because he had taken instructions and education from Sun God, so Sun God told him that in Dakshina, Guru Dakshina, I want you to be there always with my son, Sugriv, and always protect him. So he had agreed. And always he was subordinate to Sugriv. Sugriv sometimes would go here and there. Like he got distracted when he got his kingdom back, wife back, and he forgot kind of the service to Lord Ram. But Hanumanji never forgot. In fact, he always did extra service, and his extra service was always appreciated. Like when he went to Lanka, he burnt Lanka, which was not told to him. Burn everything around. But the reason was because Lord was offended there. When he was captured, nobody could capture him. Even Brahmastra could not capture him. But he agreed to be captured because he wanted to see Ravan and his kingdom inner interiors also, so that he could know more information. So he allowed them to take him, and they took him. They were all throughout insulting him. How is a Vaishnava we can know from him? He was least bothered about the insults in the service of the Lord. His only goal was to do more and more service. So that was the only intention. So anybody who's bent upon, it's clear about this, I have to increase my service to the Lord. Such a person cannot be affected by the insults that he gets while rendering that service. Impossible. But one who is not even doing the service he has got properly, he will, anybody says anything, or somebody doesn't say anything, then also he'll feel insulted. What is this, Prabhu? You are not looking at me. Arre, you are not that dekhne ki cheez, that we have to keep watching you throughout. But one feels like that because he's not enough properly engaged in service. So Hanumanji was marching forward, and all the people on both sides they were ridiculing him. Hey, just see the monkey, just see his mouth, just see this, that. He was least bothered. He only wanted, he was looking for Ravan. Who is that who is envious of my Lord and has done all this kind of mischief? And when he was taken there, they did not give him any seat, which should be given. But he was least bothered about that also. He did not want any respect. Amanina manadena. That was the formula. And they were ridiculing him there also in the court. Ravan started doing that. But when Ravan came to the disrespect that he offered to Ram through insulting words, what can that Ram do? He's an ordinary human being. I have conquered demigods, I have conquered Rakshasas. Who is this ordinary human being? I'll just kill him. And this was unbearable by to Hanumanji. Then he said, oh, you are insulting my Lord. I must destroy you. What to do? He was wondering. And then only they're only discussing there. Then he said, Ravan said, let us kill him. Immediately Vibhishan got up and said, Bhaiya, brother, you cannot do this. Messenger cannot be treated like this. Your reputation will go down. Immediately, demonic people are very much concerned about their reputation. He said, oh, that being the case, then okay, we'll not kill him. But something we have to teach him a lesson. Then somebody said, monkeys are very proud of their tails. So just set it on fire. They said, very good. So then they brought cloth, tied it, put some fuel there, and they set it ablaze. And Hanumanji thinking, wow, this is what I need. I was thinking only what to do. So now I got fire here. And he just burned the whole Lanka, except Vibhishan's palace. Because Vibhishan was always chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. By the way, we are chanting Ram's name. But anyway, in this Ram also come. So we can see Hanumanji's service very amazing. So we can pray to him to bless us also with that power, with that intelligence and attitude of always wanting to serve. Similarly, any question? Otherwise, there are many characters in Ramayana because Ram Navami is there after 2 3 days. I was told to discuss some Ram Katha also. But glorifying his devotees is the glorification of the Lord. So whether Hanumanji or uh, Vibhishan or anyone, yes. That's what some devotees say. I have not heard details of that. Hmm. Could be, but I'm not sure. Maybe. She was not impregnated by Hiranyakashipu before he left for austerities. When he had already gone there, so there Hanuma, our Narad Muni and Angira Muni, Parvat Muni, both friends, they take form of a bird and sit at a distance on a branch of a tree, and they start chanting Om Namo Narayanaya. Continuously they were chanting, and Hiranyakashipu got disturbed. Who is that rascal? Who has the guts to come in front of me and chant the glories of my enemy? I'll kill him. So he opened his eyes and he was looking, who is that? And then he found the two birds are there. They are chanting. So he had gone for austerities, but he had gone with bow and arrow. So he picked up his bow and he set arrow. But then the birds flew away. So he went running. And in that disturbed condition, he comes to his kingdom. And he says, what is that Vishnu? I will kill him. How dare of him? All that. So he was very angry. And that is the time he associates with his wife, Kayadu, and impregnates her. So that's how Garbhadan Sanskar was done by Narad Muni's blessing only. He induced him to be Vishnu conscious in unfavorable way, but for Garbhadan Sanskar that was enough. Like that. So I don't know how long he stayed in the womb. Could be so. Anyway, we don't want to continue staying in, entering in another womb of mother.
So what does this actually signify? Is it the consciousness of the living entity goes like this, or if he comes with this kind of situation wherein heavenly learnings are offered?
Yes, both. Consciousness wise also, and soul after living from this body also will be going. And if there is some desire there, he could go to heavenly planet also. So that's why one has to be very pure in his what you call aspiration, not settling with anything less than pure devotional service. Then he's completely pure. He will not desire to see some heavenly beauty or something.
When you look at the life of Hanuman, it's so inspiring that he's completely dedicated to serve Lord Ram anytime, any place, anyway. Uh, but he was restored with strength, intelligence, with skill capability. But when it comes to us, to make that, to give that complete dedication like Hanuman, it becomes difficult because we may not have that what Hanuman had. Like
We should not think, we should not cripple ourselves by such kind of thinking, because we have nothing actually except the desire. You have nothing, you don't have any power also. We can see in the world very big shots also, they forgot their names also. There are people, even one of the proper disciples also, Isha Mataji, she forgot her name also. She doesn't remember anything except Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is what is required. We should forget our name also, and we should only remember Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In fact, when we remember our name, then so many things. I'm Sundarshyam Das. I'm this, I'm that. So much nonsense we think, connected to it. But rather, remembering the Lord is so good. So everything that we have is Krishna's only, except one thing, our free will, our desire. So that is what we have. So if you want to serve the Lord, Lord will give you everything. He says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam prati purvakam dadami buddhi yoga. I give him the intelligence. You may be a dullard. You may be fool number one in the creation. You can become the topmost philosopher of the world. Sridhar Swami, born in Odisha. Sridhar Swami, first commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. So once one king in Odisha, he was on the tour of the kingdom with his minister. So he was going. So they came across one house, poor people. So the mother told the child, "My dear child, could you get some oil from the shopkeeper?" So he took the container and some money, and he went to the shopkeeper, "Give me some oil, whatever, 100 ml or something." So he poured it, and he gave the money, and he came back. So when he came back and gave it to mother, mother said, "My dear child, the oil has gone because there is a crack, there is a hole there, so it's gone. So this much oil is not enough, get it again." So he took money, with the same container he went and he purchased, and again it was the same thing. So this was observed by king and minister. Then immediately the king challenged the minister, "Just see, what a fool. If this kind of fools are there in my kingdom, where is the question of the kingdom flourishing? Can you believe in your God so much? Can your God give him some intelligence?" This was a challenge. This was a way of pulling his leg also. Ministers, because minister was very devoted to the Lord, very good devotee, and this was a challenge. So minister, when he was challenged like that, he said, "Yes, why not? My Lord can do anything. He can be intelligent boy. So really, so then show it. You know, I am ready to give anything and everything for that reason." He said, "Okay, I have some conditions." Yes, what? He will study along with the prince in the palace. So, like, he's ordinary. And now where is prince, and his king's son, he is going to be next king, and this boy already proved his utter foolishness. So, but king also took the challenge. He said, "Yes, no problem." And then the boy, the minister got the boy, and along with it was home tuition. Prince and this both were studying simultaneously. And here our minister had already seen what a dull boy that was. So he was a worshipper of Lord Narsimha. So he prayed to Lord Narsimha, "Oh Lord Narsimha Dev, if you, for your Prahlad, you could appear from the pillar, why not you appear in his heart also, and illuminate him, enlighten him, and make him intelligent, because it's a question of belief in you and your powers. It's not challenge to me, it's challenge to your godhood only. So please, oh Lord, please be merciful. And then Lord Narsingh Dev gave such a intelligence to that boy. Within days, he surpassed the prince. And a teacher, tutor, he raised hand, he said, my God, this boy is too intelligent, he can be my teacher only. And that boy only became Sridhar Swami. That's why in Sridhar Swami's commentary, you'll find lot of prayers to Lord Narsimha. Because by Lord Narsingh Dev's prayer, he got all the intelligence through that minister also. So nothing is impossible. Pangum langa yate girin. Mukham karoti vachalam. A dumb man can become eloquent speaker. And a lame man can cross mountains. Prabhupada is the best example. According to social calculations, he was beggar. A beggar was better than Prabhupada, if you say externally. Because when he came back to Kolkata, where he was raised with such opulence, father was giving him everything in childhood. But now when Prabhupada has come back, he has no money, no house, and he cannot beg also like beggar. They do that shamelessly, but Prabhupada, he was so helpless. And he went to America with nothing, bad health, not knowing. In English also, what he knew was not enough according to those standards. But Krishna completed everything. Krishna provided everything. Krishna, that is Krishna's responsibility. We should never worry. Vasudev, Lord told him in the jail only that, please, my dear father, take me to across Yamuna, take me to Mahavan, to Nanda Maharaj house. So now how can Vasudev go? He's completely bound up, isn't it? But he did not bother that. Lord has given order, I have to serve. Immediately he picked him up, put him in the basket, and he picked him up with all that chain thing, everything is closed. As he proceeds, as he's picking him up, immediately all the, what you call that, chains and everything broke down, fell down. And then he's going, as soon as he reaches the door, like that, nowadays, automatic doors. What sensors are there, no? In the airport and all, So even as soon as he reached, there was no sensor there. No Tantra Vidya, technology which destroys the whole world. There was nothing like that. But automatically, because desire, intense desire to serve Lord, everything, all the obstacles are automatically removed. Nothing of this creation can stop such a person. Not possible. There is no power Maya has by which she can block. So one should never get crippled by such kind of thoughts. That what, I am not like Hanuman. Miss, don't compare with Hanumanji. He's Hanuman. But he's our master who serves his master. So we become his servants of his servants, and he will give us power. He will give us intelligence. He will give us everything. Yoga kshemam vahami aham. But if you have ananyas chintayanto, if you don't, with undivided attention, if you are not focused on serving Krishna, then Krishna is not obliged to do that yoga kshema mahami. We know Yamunacharya's story is also there. Arjunacharya, they say. Krishna provided personally. Everything Lord is ready to do. And that's how a pure devotee will be surprised. That how these wonders happened. He's only Lord. And he glorifies the Lord all the more. Now we think that my power is my power, my intelligence, and we do something so-called wonder. That is not wonder only. Maya's way of making us more bigger fool. And then people glorify and say, yeah, actually I am more powerful than anybody else. This is our utter foolishness. And that way Maya has befooled us and has put us under her foot. Remain there only. So we should never think that our intelligence is our intelligence. Krishna said, Dadam, he says also, Mattaha smrutir jnanam apohanam. How many of you have faced the problem? Somebody you knew, but his name you forgot, and you were like, maybe with P, mostly with P, something like that. How many of you faced that? So you're all intelligent boys, of your whatever college, specific college, RB college. So how come basic thing, this even a small boy can remember the name? How did we forget then? And did it happen only once? Sometimes more than once. So why not? Why can't we remember the simple name? What is the big deal about it? Because Krishna is the controller. None of our energies are ours. They're all Krishna's energies. We have only one energy, one thing with us, desire. If you desire to serve Krishna, Krishna will give you whatever is required for that matter. Whatever is required. You can see His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. If any one of us would have been in such condition, or not even such condition, 1/10 of the what you call with lesser degree. Maybe if I would have been like that, I would not have appeared only in public. Eh? रूम में अपना ही करते रहो. Maharaj is so enthusiastic. He is beyond bodily consciousness. This doesn't matter. Body is what? Dead. That is his understanding. And his body is meant for proper service. So I don't care. You can see how, in public, Maharaj has, that physical difficulties, servant doing that. He doesn't care about it. He only is caring for proper service. That's all. And everything else is no consideration at all. So Krishna has empowered him more than anybody. Though we are physically healthy, we may be proud of that. But what is the use of such health when we are not engaging in Lord's service? And he may be not having that health thing, but he is doing millions of times more service than us to Prabhupada. Because he has a strong desire. So desire is all that is required. And this desire develops in the association of devotees. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. The positive side. So because he has taken association of Prabhupada and Prabhupada disciples who are so dedicated, he has taken it very seriously. So for him, these bodily difficulties don't matter only. He is not thinking only in those lines. We are only thinking, oh, Maharaj is undergoing difficulty. He is not undergoing difficulty. Bodily, it is maybe there, but he's not on that platform only. His platform is service to Guru. That's all. So on that platform, these bodily difficulties don't exist. They exist because of our faulty vision. We think, so much difficulty, so much difficulty. And we don't have that difficulty, we do nothing. So never be crippled by this thought that I don't have this, I don't have that. We have nothing. But if you desire, Krishna will provide everything. That is his promise. That is his promise. And he will never go against his words. We should be completely convinced of this. And we have so many examples of that, isn't it? So many great souls. His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj, you can see, way back in his youthful days only, when the blast happened in Mayapur temple, he lost his leg. He's on that. But going on, serving so enthusiastically. And it doesn't matter only. All that. And so many great souls are like that. His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj met with a stroke. But so absorbed. Consciousness he has reached, and tears he sheds, is cannot be imagined by us. How much he loves Krishna, because whole life was dedicated in Krishna Katha only. Bhagavatam is kept in front of him by us. He doesn't see only. He knows all the verses, hard, he just keeps speaking only, without looking in the down. And explains much better than what we could understand just by normal people. So we should never get crippled by thinking that I don't have this, I don't have. Just have desire to serve the Lord, and Krishna will provide A to Z. In fact, more than what you can even imagine. We go by mundane logic, calculations. Krishna will empower us beyond our own imagination. Okay, I think we have gone beyond time. We should stop. Huh? Okay, ठीक quick.
Please explain the starting words of
Loki.
Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nityadas. Jiva is always servant of the Lord. That is the foundation of our spiritual life. The one who thinks is the servant of society, this, that, such a person cannot enter in Bhakti Marg. He will serve that side. But we understand we are servants of Krishna. So servant is useless without service to the master. So Krishna is master, I am servant, and connection is service. So I am always going to connect with my master through service. So he goes on serving.
what is the position of Shiva in Adhyatmic devotion?
In?
What in Adhyatmic devotion?
He is Sadashiv. Lord Shiva is there in Vishnu Tattva, Shiva Tattva, and Jiva Tattva also. So in Vishnu Tattva, he is there as Sadashiv. He is Supreme Lord only. He has his own Vaikuntha planet where his devotees are there. Then he is there in Kailas Dham as Shambhu Tattva also. And he is there in this material world as Rudra also. That is Jiva Tattva. So in all different ways he is there in the service of the Lord. In the material world as well as in the spiritual world. Any other? Who?
Why married Arjuna?
So he's here only.
Why because why Bhima only able to kill a demon, not Arjuna?
Which demon? Jarasandha. Lord's desire, as far as I understand, because and also it is Bhima who was fit for duel. Arjuna is not famous for duel. Jarasandha also, he was given choice by Krishna only, that you choose any of us, three of us. He said, "Oh Krishna, you are a coward. You have run away from the battle 17 times. I don't fight with the cowards. Your law." And Arjun, he is younger to me. He's no match. But Bhima, I can think of. He did not think of Bhima also, but he is somewhat of match. So I can fight with it. And Bhima had the strength also, as Jarasandh had. Jarasandh alone had controlled Kuvalayapid, and he had no, but he had that Kuvalayapid which was dangerous. Kamsa had controlled it, I think. So the point is, he was very powerful, and he needed somebody equally powerful. They are not what you call mm, like today's fights go on. They may fight with somebody who is lesser in strength and kill him also. They would always be fighting on the religious codes, religious terms. So he accepted Bhima. Then also the war went on, the duel went on for 17 days mostly. And then Bhima surrendered to Krishna, and Krishna told him the origin of his body, how he was born in two pieces. He was thrown in the forest. One demoness Jara came. She joined the two, and then what happened? He got joined, and he became the king eventually, Janasana. So only way of killing him is to bifurcate him from top to bottom and throw in the opposite sides. That kind of physical strength was with Bhima. Strength required thing were assigned to Bhima. Arjuna was famous for fighting with the bow and arrows. So according to their inclination, their expertise, Lord arranges. Right? Yes.
I was thinking how did the future start that who may now be the
Moving up on the world.
who may now be the in that Prabhupada gives the example of beast and animals example symbolism and recognize now beast trees and so if you see that same soul is will be evolved for human form then if the soul is already covered by lust in that form then how can you say that child will not have lust?
He has it, but it is in a dormant state. And by the arrangement of the Lord, when he reaches puberty, then the manifestation of the lust happens. It is dormant. It is not like that. It is there, whatever he has accumulated, the influence is there, but it is covered. And it will manifest when he reaches puberty. Okay? So we end here. Thank you all very much. Grandharashtramal Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Vivekananda ki jai.